Hi guys, we have another update in the Delphi case. I'm just going to do a quick video update on what's going on. It is insane, you guys. It's 136 pages and it reads more like a Stephen King screenplay than a legal motion. The first 30 pages of this document gave me quite literal nightmares, and almost nothing scares me. So I'm going to give you the details and you tell me what you think about all of this. So Richard Allen's defense has filed a 136-page, very bizarre, very terrifying motion. In addition to that, there's another motion that I'm going to show you guys. It is a motion to get Richard Allen out of that jail and to another location. They believe that his life is in danger, so they're trying to get him out of there as well. So in this motion, it claims that the two girls, Libby and Abby, that their lives were taken not by Richard Allen, but by members of a cult in Odinism. Richard's defense says that he has zero ties to Odinism or any religious group at all. I did a little search on Odinism, and it is a Norse pagan religion. You might have seen it kind of represented in, cool Viking movies. But now it's kind of been known to have been misinterpreted and misused by certain groups, such as white supremacists, and even the Nazis used one of the symbols of the cult on their uniforms. So this motion, let me go through the details here. I wrote some notes. So there was a search warrant in October 2022. Richard's defense is claiming that that search warrant was secured using misinformation and flat-out lies by the detective. The motion states that evidence at the crime scene points away from Richard Allen, not at him. It goes on to describe in very graphic details the crime scene, the girls, everything. It's awful, awful, awful. It states that there were branch formation of letters used in the Odinist religion, and that there was painted letters, and I'm just going to say the letter F in the red liquid, that was on the tree nearby, and that was an Odinistic symbol as well, that law enforcement just kind of went, whatever. They didn't take it, and they also left all those branches behind that were placed on top of the girls in very specific formations, and I'm sure by now I've got that pulled up on the screen here for you. So that is one of the things. The motion states that because they completely ignored this evidence or did not fully investigate the clues from the scene, they missed vital evidence. The motion also states that there is a man named Brad Holder who was briefly looked at, but very barely, and cast doubt on his alibi in this motion. And they also highlighted the fact that his son Logan dated Abby at the time of this incident in February 2017. So, and that Brad Holder had then and still has clear connections to Odinism. I'm showing you some of those now on the screen. Yeah. Not only that, you guys, but take a look at the sketches. And Brian, I did an unlisted video yesterday, I think, for Criminalities Live. Just a little quick put together. I'm going to throw that in here, kind of cut down even more, just so you can see the comparison. So let me put that here.
What kind of haircut do you have, Karen? Okay, fact one.
All right, a little weird, right? I'm not accusing, I'm just saying. There are a lot of photos that I have been seeing put around. I'm showing you some of them here that make you go, what? Yeah. All right, so now switching over to Richard Allen for just a moment. He is now 51 years old, and according to his defense, the prosecution has withheld all of this exculpatory evidence, and Richard has been living in hell. And so much has been going on where he has been watched and threatened, videotaped by guards. That some of the guards have been wearing, or were wearing, Odinism badges or patches on their uniforms. Weird things like that. And these attorneys are coming with receipts. This sounds pretty serious. Apparently, he was threatened that something was going to happen to his family if he didn't call his wife and make that confession. So he did, and ever since then, he's been asking if his wife and family are okay. This is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard of. I mean, I don't think Stephen King could write this. It is crazy. So, let me go back to my notes here. He was arrested and charged with the girls' deaths in October 2022. I have his court file and everything here. So his attorneys want this, all the evidence obtained by that search warrant thrown out or suppressed due to the search warrant being based on what they're calling a defective PCA. They are requesting what's called a Frank's hearing. They claim that Tony Liggett lied to the judge to secure the search warrant. They knew that there were other suspects. They knew about the other evidence. They knew about the cult references. It's very, very, very graphically detailed in this motion as well. I'm not going to read any of that. If you want to hear more, please go over to Criminality's channel. I will link it below and watch her live. She's done 2 now on it, and it's just crazy. So now we're waiting to find out what happens with the motion to have him moved, which I've showed you on the screen, and this new motion. We're going to wait and see if they get the Frank's hearing. They should, and then we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, I was kind of doing a little digging, and I found a couple of interesting things. I'm just going to throw this in here. I found an article from the same month that he was arrested. Check this out. All right, so very interestingly, I found this article from October 26th, 2022. I don't need to read it because everything in the article is in the video below. I'm just going to show it to you. You can pause wherever you would like. I will link to this article at the bottom as well. If you want to read all that, you can pause here. That's the video. We're going to come right back to it. Okay, and that's it. So let's play the video.
Deputy Sheriff in Carroll County claims his constitutional rights have been violated throughout his employment because of his political affiliations. He's filed a lawsuit against the Carroll County Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Tobe Lesenby. Michael Thomas ran in the Republican primary for Carroll County Sheriff this year. He claims the current administration disapproved of his run for office because of his stance regarding the Delphi child homicides. Thomas says his recommendations for experts to be brought in to help with the Delphi double homicide investigation were ignored. He's no longer involved with that case. Detective Tony Liggett won the nomination in the primary. Thomas claims 3 days later he was demoted from his position as chief deputy, and Liggett was promoted to replace him.
What we're saying here is that, Michael didn't have the same opportunities that other officers had once it was determined that he was not going to support this candidate that the sheriff wanted to see supported and in fact was going to run against him. Things changed for him. He wasn't treated equally with other people in similar positions within his office.
Thomas's attorney, Nick Snow, says they will not comment at this point on Thomas's specific demands or any type of remedy he seeks through the filing of this lawsuit. Sheriff Joe Blesenby has not responded to News 18's request for comment as of the airing of this story.
Pretty crazy, huh? Okay, so I'm going to see if I can find more information on this lawsuit and see if it was settled or dismissed or, what happened with it, because it has been almost a year. So surely there's information about this lawsuit online, and I'll look for that later. If I can find that, I will put it in the description below, and I will add a comment of my own and pin it to the top. And lastly, I will read the best paragraph in the whole thing, in my opinion anyway. It describes there being a giant haystack of discovery, and that basically law enforcement ignored all of that and just focused on Richard Allen. Gee, doesn't that sound familiar? And it states, quote, "The court will know at the conclusion of this memorandum that the defense is not inventing, fabricating, or exaggerating these facts, no matter how crazy those facts may appear. Richard Allen's defense team is attaching to this memorandum the supporting documentation that provides proof that these facts are true." That's pretty powerful in my opinion. So if you have the stomach to handle these documents, I am uploading them to the private Facebook group. They're all over Twitter as well, if you want to just go look for them there. But they're also in the group under files. Let me know what you think about all of this, especially if you want to take some time to read like the first 30 pages of that thing. Read the whole thing if you want, but I can guarantee you will fully understand what's going on pages 1 through 30. I saw this tweet earlier by Defense Diaries and I love it. I'm sharing it here. You can pause if you'd like to read the whole thing, and I will link to it below as well. And I echo that statement. Libby and Abby and their families only get justice if the real and true killers are convicted, period. Richard Allen's trial is set to begin January 8th, so that's why they're in a hurry to get this done now. It is insane, you guys. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that all of this is true? Do you think that it could possibly be anything other than the most terrifying Stephen King novel ever written? I literally want to send this to Stephen King and say, you couldn't write this, could you? It is that bad, you guys. So just trigger warning, if you think you're going to be able to read it, it's bad. Okay, guys, I'm spent emotionally after reading all of that and watching 2 lives on it. It is so much. So again, now me and Jules of All Trades are going to do a live. We're going to do a live on it this week or next week. Criminality is currently doing a series reading through all the documents. If you don't want to read it, but you want to have somebody read it to you, that would be a good option. I will see you next time. Thank you, guys.